Hello and welcome to Baffling Cyclops. I remain David.
I'm Pepper Proxy, and it's game day.
It is. I think we're allowed to say Super Bowl in our podcast.
I don't think it's allowed. What did you say they also tried to trademark?
They tried game day and the big game.
Yeah.
So, but it's the Super Bowl Sunday, which we have a great history with because this is when we usually go shopping.
Yeah. Well, especially there a couple years ago, the team here in Seattle, I think they're called the Seahawks. They are the Seahawks, right?
Yes.
Seattle Seahawks.
I like you're asking me like I'm the expert.
Well, I think I got the former basketball team name really wrong with the Sasquatch from an earlier podcast.
The Supersonics?
Maybe I didn't get it wrong. You had to tell me. But anyway, so the Seahawks, for a couple years in a row, they were in the big game. Super B.
And that made Costco fantastic. An empty Costco parking lot, which was awesome.
Well, if you recall, I think the first year that they were in the big game, Super B, there were 5 cars in the parking lot at Costco.
Yeah, we decided not to go today.
No.
For virus-related reasons.
Yeah.
So we did stop quickly in the grocery store, triple masked, made our way in, out.
Yeah.
It was full of crazy people.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this, but there was a very odd woman with one of those blue IKEA totes, speaking very loudly in the ice cream aisle about cheesecake ice cream.
Right. I think she wanted to start a conversation with you or us or somebody.
Well, you know what I did?
What did you do?
Skedaddled.
Yeah, we got out of there. I wanted to talk about raccoons this week.
Okay.
Because we've had a long history with raccoons on our back porch.
Yes, we have.
And they disturb you, and we've talked about it a little bit on the podcast before.
Yeah, they do disturb me. And I haven't seen the original in a few months.
Right.
So I don't know if she's around. The only one that didn't disturb me, that actually tickled me, was Scooch.
Right. So we had originally the most horribly deformed raccoon with no tail and a giant scar, and it was obese and looked partially blind, possibly partially deaf. I'm going to guess it was hit by a car at some point. It didn't, because it couldn't walk very quickly either.
Yeah, but it was very, very fertile.
Yes,
fertile
and
myrtle.
we think it was the spawn, the queen ant of the raccoons in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
and that raccoon was around since we first moved in.
Yeah,
like so 10 years ago.
Yeah, so much so that we even looked up the lifespan of a raccoon because
it seemed amazing. It was like the immortal raccoon.
Yeah, and it was pretty beat up, and it was surprising that is it fall or winter, the raccoon would come around. It's like, that raccoon's still alive?
Because we have a covered back porch.
Yeah.
And it didn't get really, I don't want to say bad, but it didn't get really comfortable on our back porch until you bought furniture for the back porch.
Yes.
And then the raccoons decided they were just going to live there during the winter.
Yeah.
And the
neighborhood cats and raccoons moved in.
This year we decided we were going to take all the cushions off. I bought covers for them.
You were so smart. I think we did it last year too.
But this year we decided we're going to make a wall.
Yeah, make it so hard.
Impenetrable barrier, and they're still going on the back porch every night.
Yeah.
And there's almost nothing we can do about it. And so I
even got mothballs.
I know. You got mothballs, and we've tried making noise. We've tried just moving everything. We tried making it uncomfortable. We scream at them. We do all kinds of stuff, and if raccoons had a middle finger, when we screamed at them, the raccoon would hold its paw up with a middle finger up and say, "To hell with you."
I think they did. The other night when you were on the Arlo camera and you were yelling and I was knocking on the window, I do think it turned. The one, I say it's Scooch. It might not be Scooch because there are two. I think it turned and put its paw up. I don't know if there's a finger or not, but it seemed like
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if you call what their appendages are fingers.
They sure look like hands.
But that scar one would not move.
No.
Because at one point I poked it with a stick to try and get it off the furniture during the day.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm not moving.
No.
And it didn't care. And I think there must be someone in our neighborhood that is to the raccoons what we are to the crows.
Yeah,
They're
maybe.
feeding them out the back porch
Yeah.
or giving them food because it sure seems like they expect us to come out with like a
charcuterie
Costco,
board?
a Costco tray of
Yeah.
cold cuts and cheese,
Yeah.
and provide them with comfort
Yeah.
as if it's some kind of hotel. And
Yeah.
it got me thinking because I bought a cameo for Shauna for her birthday of Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall. That wouldn't it be interesting if we hired someone on Cameo to do a raccoon message to keep the
Yes.
raccoons off our back porch?
Oh, I'm liking this.
So I put a thing out on Twitter, and one of
What'd you put out on Twitter?
Just I want to. What celebrity should I get to record
Yeah.
a message? Which I haven't done it yet, so I don't want to, get your hopes up
Okay.
too quickly here. But my friend Sock Cop,
Yeah.
he provided one for free, which I sent to you. It was just his sock character talking about the raccoons, and
It was good.
yeah, it was good. But
Can you put it in our newsletter?
Yeah, I'll put it in the newsletter. But I haven't.
That's funny.
I haven't been awake when the raccoons have been on the back porch. We haven't done it, so I haven't played the message for that for the raccoons yet. But I still think I want to hire a celebrity
Okay.
to do our message. And my dream celebrity out of all the celebrities
your
in Cameo would be Ice-T.
I love him.
I know, because I think
Could Coco do it too?
I don't think Coco's scary, but I think Ice-T.
Oh, you don't know Coco.
Coco, Ice-T's wife. But I think like Ice-T could put on his cool Ice-T voice, that he uses for his band Body Count, and tell the raccoons, and they might actually listen to Ice-T.
Let's do it.
But Ice-T is $450.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Right, so I don't want to do
Ouch.
Ice-T.
Yeah.
So I was looking.
Well, Ice-T and I are friends.
I know, you and Ice-T.
We go way back.
I know, well, so Ice-T and Coco were there for you on a difficult day.
Okay, so Ice-T and Coco and Spartacus, I think it was Spartacus, their bulldog. One of the hardest days that I ever experienced up to now, or up to that point, I was working and I was traveling a ton, and I was in a lot of trouble at work. I thought I was going to be fired. It was not a good scene. And it was also review time. So it was time for me to get my review. And my boss had me fly down to Los Angeles to get my review. And I think she gave it to me in like a Ruby Tuesdays or someplace like that. It was just horrible. And it was a really bad review. Like I was in so much trouble. I thought I was going to be fired. I think she wanted me to resign. It was not a good scene. I was not in a good place then in my life either. So after I get this horrific review, and granted, I had to fly down to Los Angeles to get the review.
And you didn't even leave the airport.
No, I left the
you did leave the
airport to go to the Ruby Tuesdays or whatever the place was. I had to get I can't remember if it was Uber or a cab, but I had to leave the airport to go meet her at this place near this mall because we were opening. There was a store opening. I was in retail, so I had to go meet her. Or I can't remember all the reasons, but I left the airport, got in a cab, met her. Then I had to go back to the airport all in the same day after getting this just bad news review. And I was in the airport and I was like, what the F? What am I going to do? This is like, I was just like, so much identified myself with what I did at the time as far as my work. Like, that was my identity. And so I was going through this huge crisis. And luckily I had a BlackBerry. I think a BlackBerry. I spoke to you.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit, but it was so bad.
And you were just upset, but also kind of numb.
I was upset and I was numb. And also, what I oversaw was the most successful in the entire company. My numbers were the best in the entire company. Like, I was having so much success in one way, but failing so drastically in another way. It was just very confusing and just horrible. So, so I'm at the airport. I'm like, oh, F, what am I going to do? Like, I remember it so clearly. I remember what I was wearing. Like, I remember the whole thing. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to this little, the airport store. And it was in the Virgin American wing, which it's not even around anymore, at LAX. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to get some water, or like a National Enquirer or something. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Something to like decompress a little bit
or
from
just
it.
Distract me from this crisis I was going through. And I look over, and Coco was there.
And for people that don't know, Coco is
phenomenal,
voluptuous.
She's amazing,
super pretty.
Yeah.
And done up to a T.
Yeah, she's very much like, just look her up. Like, that's all I have to say. But I knew of Coco because they had a TV show, like a reality show, and they were so cute on the show. And I didn't watch it like religiously, but I love the fact that she was from Arizona. I spent a lot of time in Arizona when I was working, so I kind of knew like the vibe of the girl from Arizona. She had a great relationship with her family, super cute with her father. So the couple shows that I saw, I was like, I'm in. Like, I've loved Iced Tea forever. And I was like, oh my God, Coco, she's just like the shits.
And she's fancy.
She was, this is no shade at all, but she was like bandage dress fancy, like velour tracksuit fancy, which is not my fancy, but I
she had
love
a personal
all that.
style though.
Oh yeah, like
anyone that
I
has.
loved her.
You have
like,
it doesn't have to be your style.
Yeah.
You just like someone that has their own style, and she had her own style, and she had a show in Vegas. And
she's amazing. Like she's great, and she's smart and talented.
Smart,
So I see, like, I'm thinking, what am I gonna do in my life? Thank God I have David, but this sucks. Like, I don't know what my future will hold. And I just like look over the National Enquirer, and she's there, and she was there with Spartacus, and I was like, I started crying, but not like, I didn't want to make a big deal because I was very emotional anyway. And I was like, is that Spartacus? And there was somebody else interacting.
Yeah.
And this was at a Hudson News.
Right. And there's Coco lit from behind from a water fridge, and
she had her like full frosting, her full makeup
looking
on,
good.
but she looked good. Like, but she was casual, she was like they're flying. And I later learned they were going to New York from LAX. So I'm just like, first I was like, is that Spartacus? And like, she's like, yes. And he was like laying on his back and his tummy was out. And I looked at her and I'm like, "You're Coco." And she's like, "I am Coco." And I just said, "Coco, I have to tell you, I just love you." And I've seen celebrities before, and I've never like approached them, and I've been really like respectful of their space. But in that moment, she was like this angel that came down from heaven, and I was just like, "Coco, I have to tell you, I love you. I think you're amazing. I love the relationship you have with your family. You're just awesome."
And you're a huge iced tea person too.
Like, I am, but I didn't. He wasn't even in my thoughts.
No, but I just mean like, but that's part of why you like Coco too, because she's with iced tea.
They were so cute. They're so cute. They're flipping cute together. Because he's like such a tough skin, but she's like, they're just so great together.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "You're just awesome." She said, no, I must have had an iPhone, because she said, "Would you like a photo?" And I said, "I would love a photo, but I don't want to ask you because I know you're," and she's like, "No," she's like, "We're just like waiting we're going to New York." And the other person that was there, I'm like, "Yeah, she's like, she'll take the picture for us. Give her your phone." And so I gave this woman my phone, and she took this picture, and I'm kind of like crouched down with Spartacus, and Coco is there with me. And it wasn't until like I finished, like I left them alone. It was like a small, like maybe a 3-minute interaction. And I went back and I looked at my pictures, and I can't believe it, but Ice-T photobombed the picture of me with Spartacus and Coco. And it was so amazing. And it truly it lifted me up so much, and it got me through. It made me like grateful and thankful that sometimes like shitty things aren't like the end of the world. And there's good too. And it was amazing. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So, and I remember it really did brighten your day, because it was
more than my day, David. It was like, it brightened the whole thing.
Well, you kind of took it as a sign too, of the universe sent you a little Coco. As a sign.
And I didn't get fired until I eventually did get fired, but it was more than a year later. Yeah. But yeah, it was awesome.
And
so maybe we should get Iced Tea to do our.
Well, Ice-T was one of the people, but there are many celebrities on there.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, you could take a look.
Okay.
And some of them are only $25.
Like who?
Well, the one that appeals to me, because he puts effort into his cameos.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned, Shauna bought me a cameo for my birthday, Ileana Douglas.
Yeah.
Which she puts effort in. She came out with a candle. She dressed up. She was super cute. It was lovely.
Yeah.
And
she's awesome anyway.
Yeah. And other celebrities, though, they're like, "Hey, happy birthday, bye."
Yeah.
That's all that they do. And some of them actually advertise that they'll break up with someone for you too. Like, and creeps me
you have to
out.
be kind of hard up for a buck to do that.
Yeah, to advertise that you'll break up with someone.
Yeah.
Like, if someone just said, "Will you do this for me?" and maybe would soften the blow or something, you might think you would do it. But so Andy Dick is one of the people that will break up with someone for you, just as an example.
That's not surprising. But your cameo was with somebody, the one Shauna got for you was somebody who worked with Andy Dick.
Ileana Douglas?
No, I'm sorry, the one you got for Shauna.
Dave Foley? Yes, on News Radio. Yes.
They worked together.
Yeah, they did. And we actually said the News Radio crew had some rough times.
Yeah, they did.
Because like Joe Rogan, who's not one of my favorite guys.
No.
And Andy Dick.
Yeah, Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman. Like, there's a bunch of stuff on there.
But Stephen Root was on News
which
Radio.
Is awesome.
He's amazing.
He's great.
Yeah.
And Maura Tierney is great. Yeah. I'm sure fine. Like, I don't know, but she seems fine.
She had a rough go. I mean, she's a survivor. Like, She's had some medical issues for sure.
Yeah, and Dave Foley had a rough life. Like I
Yeah,
heard some of his podcast stuff. He's been in a dark place.
Yeah.
But so I don't know that Andy Dick would keep the raccoons off of our porch though.
I would be fearful that Andy Dick would actually show up at our house and say, I'll crash here and take care of your raccoons if you give me room and board for a year.
Yeah. Well, the other one that I thought would be fun, though, was Gilbert Gottfried, because we could hire him to roast the raccoons. But I don't know if the neighbors would appreciate it if Gilbert Gottfried roasting the raccoons every time.
Screw the neighbors. What about me? I'd rather have an entire family, extended family of raccoons on my back porch versus Gilbert Gottfried like screaming at the raccoons through the Arlo camera. Come on.
But the one that I like that puts effort in is Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits.
Oh, yeah. I'm Henry the Eighth. I'm Henry the Eighth.
Because he starts all of his the same way, which is he plays one of the Herman's Hermits songs.
Okay.
And then he's like, hello, this is Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits. Turn that music down. I don't think they can hear me. And then he's like adjusting the music down with his other hand.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sign me up.
I just think it would be funny to have him go, hello, raccoons, it's time to leave the porch.
But aren't there, like, you've shown me a couple of his cameos, and, like, to say it in a polite way, they're inconsistent.
No, his are consistent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that was inconsistent was David Yao from Jesus Lizard.
That's right. So we don't have to talk in depth about that, but I'm just saying people should look that up.
Yeah. David Yao, back in my punk rock days at Stashes in Columbus, Ohio, we went to see Jesus Lizard, and David Yao, the lead singer of Jesus Lizard, got up on our table and kicked our plastic pitcher of beer off the table and then started punching down the drop ceiling that was in Stashes and pulling it apart. And then he laid down on the stage and said, put your drugs in my mouth. And people just went up and put like stuff in his mouth and he swallowed it. And then the band started playing the next song and they played the opening chords like 3 times, and then as soon as they played it the 3rd time, they all stopped, and they went there, and then they called an ambulance. And the ambulance came, and they canceled the show, and I was with Scott Cahill, and he kept saying, we killed Jesus Lizard! We killed Jesus Lizard!
Okay. Well, while you were punking out at Stashes, I was just at Crazy Mama's listening to little Charlie Sexton sing the beat. So I actually think I saw him in person at Crazy Mama's. So you were a little bit more edgy than me.
Probably. So to me, that was hilarious. But now he is also on Cameo.
Yeah.
But
he's kind of still saying, put the drugs in my mouth.
Well, I don't want to cast aspersions on him,
Yeah.
but sometimes he's definitely in a different mood than other times.
He's just inconsistent.
And I saw a birthday message he had for someone where he basically spent the whole time looking at his rosacea and his iPhone and touching it and commenting on how bad his rosacea was.
Yeah.
And then, happy birthday.
He needs a little steroid cream.
So we can get David Yao. Except he could just do it because his other times he's just like, happy birthday from David Yao.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, I don't want
not worth
that.
it.
I don't want him to just go, raccoons, get off their porch.
Well, I have a little experience with Cameo. I did look it up. I was thinking about getting you a Cameo, and it was from the guy from Canada, the food guy, KGB Productions. He puts a lot of effort into his cameos.
Yeah.
And I think they are also $20 or $25, whatever the lowest rung is. But then I was like, yeah, I don't know if you'd enjoy that.
It wouldn't be for me.
I just thought I would do it to make you laugh.
What's really funny, too, after looking through a bunch of cameos, some people get cameo after cameo for the same person. So, like,
Oh, because they think they're connected to them.
well, they'll be like, hey, Tim, I wished you a happy birthday, and now it's your anniversary, so happy anniversary. So they like keep getting the same celebrity to do message after message for the same person, which is cute, I think, if that person is really special to the other person, because it's like, but it also, there's a little bit of a surprise for a cameo.
It's
like
also
you want
a
them
little
to,
it's a little weird.
but a super fan.
Yeah.
You know how it is with a super fan kind of thing.
Well, okay, so can we just go back to iced tea for 1 minute?
Sure.
Because
$450.
Yeah, 1 minute. But I don't think it's a minute. But I read something about iced tea today on my Flipboard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he posted an image. Somebody had a painting of iced tea in their loft. It looked like a loft. He posted it and said, I saw this image of me, and he gave it props and thumbs up or whatever iced tea does, a shout out. And I was so perplexed because it's a great painting. It's a really good portrait. But it says OG, which he is an OG, right. But the graphic style is that the top is cut off. So the O looks like a U.
Right.
So it looked like UGG to me.
So you were like, oh, that's not the best.
It was like, it's not UGG because it would have another G, but I don't know about that. But I loved the portrait. But I really appreciated the fact that Ice-T gave a shout out to the artist and the whole thing.
Well, his Twitter account's fun. His Final Level on Twitter. And one of the things I like about Ice-T is he gives life lessons. To tell you if you're a hustler, all of this stuff. But he gives life lessons, which I always enjoy. And he also he names people, the dumbass of the day, and he's
like a middle-aged man,
right?
Yeah,
but he also uses LOL and SMH in his tweets, which I love because SMH is shake my head, shaking my head if you don't know. But I love that about Ice-T. So anyway,
he's like a guy.
So I was gonna say though, if anyone has a celebrity that they think that we should use for the raccoons on our back porch, the cheaper the better.
Yeah, we're looking for suggestions.
We're looking for a bargain. And but the easiest way to contact me is on Twitter, and my Twitter account is Zoomar, which is ZOOMAR, and just let me know what celebrity you think we should do, and I'll use Sock Cops to at some point, as soon as the raccoons was great. As soon as the raccoons are out during the day when I have an opportunity to do it, and we can get some, I'll play it. But if it's anything like what happened when I screamed at them, they're not going to react. They don't care.
If it's Ice-T, they would. Maybe we need to save our pennies.
Save our pennies. Save up for Ice-T. Yeah. We should start a GoFundMe. We started a GoFundMe so that we can hire Ice-T to scare the raccoons off our back porch.
Let's do it. I'm serious. We should do it. I'm on Twitter too, but I never use it. But I'm Pepper Proxy.
Yeah.
At Twitter, if anybody wants to be ignored by me, I check it maybe every time you tell me to.
Yeah. I say, hey, I tweeted something you might like. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, well, everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. And to read our show notes, sign up for our newsletter at bafflingcyclops.com.